This short exposition has to give some reflections on use patterns and energy consumption in the homes during the Spanish general confinement. The information given comes from a project developed by the Spanish National Research Council. What is COVID Hub? It is a project on confinement, housing, and habitability. It is based on a participatory mixed method study exploratory that combines quantitative and qualitative approaches using a questionnaire, photos, and written testimonials. Online, its scope is national. The aim is to study the reality of lockdown through the binomial household dwelling. Some specific objectives were to put in value different habitats, the urban, intermediate, and rural, the immediate built environment, different urban areas and neighborhoods, living aspects and home features such as habit change, occupation and use, habitability, energy, comfort, and satisfaction with domestic spaces, resilience offered by housing to similar future situations, scientific knowledge, citizen science, and put in value action strategies. The aspects included in the questionnaire were general features of housing, environmental quality of their spaces, general comfort perception, housing adaptation to lockdown and COVID-19, alteration of use occupation habits, among them the teleworking and home, quality of spaces and resources, energy equipment, supplies and consumptions, sustainable criteria, energy saving measures, and renewable energy presence, and preferences for housing improvement. The total sampling for the study was based on 1,800 surveys for the questionnaire, and for the qualitative part, we obtained almost 800 responses with their respective photos, tags, and testimonies. About time dedication to daily activities, these graphics show different tasks ranked from 1 to 5, being 1 less dedication task and 5 more dedication task. Home care to dependents and children was perceived as the activity with less dedication, followed by sports and family leisure, rest, home chores, and teleworking as the task with more time dedication. Related to domestic hot water, for more than a third of respondents, the usage of this service was increased with the energy consumption associated. Regarding the domestic equipment, a list of appliances and devices was given to see the incidence of use during lockdown respecting the regular use. The most used in this period have been those related to cooking activities and technology, PCs and mobile devices, such as tablets and mobile phones, followed by the oven, stoves, or the dishwasher. Those that have not altered their use were freezer, dryers, food processors, vacuum cleaners, or washing machines. No equipment decreased its use during confinement. On thermal comfort and HVAC systems, the availability and the usage pattern of heating-cooling systems are expressed in this slide. Concerning the heating ones, the most were individual systems, even portable, which could explain the relatively low use of them only when really necessary. Cooling for almost a half of housings was not available, being a third of them individual equipments. Their use were practically null during the lockdown. As we know, the lockdown were during the spring, so the incidence of those systems could be relative. Regarding the comfort perception as expressed in ISO 7730 regulation, the 36.2% of households were not in comfort during the lockdown. As to household incomes for energy supplies, we found that the limit percentage established in 10%, which some literature takes as energy poverty limit, is overcome by a quarter of the sampling for regular situations pre-COVID. In the context of lockdown, almost a 30% of people who already received energy bills related to this period report overcoming this value. For those households that have not received yet the bills, changes were expected for almost the half. In terms of household strategies to save energy, it's remarkable that almost a third of them did not carry out any strategy. The most used were those related to lights, shorten showers, and turn off the HVAC equipment when were not in use. It's also highlighted that in 85.6% of housing, there were no systems to produce renewable energy. So finally, we can release some ideas or conclusions. The confinement as an experiment, a measure needed for the common good, supposed an increasing of energy expenditure for all. All households had to increase the consumption of energy somehow, whatever their situation, but the response on comfort gave information about thermal environmental conditions in the home and thus on the quality of housing and the need of energy to reach comfort. Renewable energy systems were not available in the homes, maybe because of they were mandatory from 2006, where almost all Spanish housing were already built. Awareness on energy saving and strategies to shorten energy consumption were in part missing, maybe when were more needed. Despite the sampling on this study is biased by their nature, online, that implies somehow a certain quality of life, internet connection, digital resources, the energy expenditure for a quarter, almost a third in confinement, reveals that people spend a lot of money on energy supplies even in regular situations. It is all by now. Thank you for your attention. If you want some more information, please write me an email. So, thank you.